Calligraphy, the art of creating beautiful text with brush and ink, was esteemed above all other forms of visual art in traditional China. Sharing much of its founding heritage and creative components with the field of ink painting, after all they shared identical tools, brush, inkwell and inkstick. Yet calligraphy was revered as a fine art long before painting. Indeed, it was not until the Song dynasty when painting became closely allied with calligraphy in aim, form and technique, it was able to shed its status as a mere hobby and join the elite ranks of the fine arts. Imperial power over such a vast area quickly necessitated the founding of and reliance upon a massive and highly literate administrative class, the Chinese civil service. The importance of the preservation of history, its edicts and pronouncements, allowed for the legacy of calligraphy and engraving to develop. In ancient China, scholars, whose main currency was the written word, came to assume the dominant positions in government, society and culture. This powerful skill was hard earning. Learning how to read and write in Chinese is difficult because there is no alphabet or phonetic system. Each written Chinese word is represented by its own unique symbol, a kind of abstract diagram known as a character, and so each word must be learned separately through a laborious process of writing and rewriting the character until it has been memorized. To read a newspaper requires a knowledge of around 3,000 characters. A well-educated person is familiar with about 5,000 characters, a professor with perhaps 8,000. More than 50,000 characters exist in all, the great majority never to be used. Yet these practical limitations of writing Chinese can also become an artistic strength. Unlike written words formed from alphabets, Chinese characters convey more than phonetic sound or semantic meaning. Traditional writings about calligraphy suggest that written words play multiple roles. Not only does a character denote specific meanings, but its very form should reveal itself to be a model exemplar, as well as a manifestation of the energy of the human body and the vitality of nature itself. Consider this Tang Dynasty text that anthropomorphizes calligraphy. A written character should stand balanced on all four sides, leaning or standing upright like a proper gentleman. The upper half of the character sits comfortably while the bottom half supports it. That quotation was from an anonymous essay in the Tang Dynasty. Other writings on calligraphy use nature metaphors to express its sense of wonder. Consider Sun Guoting's quote in the 7th century. When viewing calligraphy, I have seen the wonder of a drop of dew glistening from a dangling needle, a shower of rock hailing down in the raging thunder, a flock of geese gliding in the sky, frantic beasts stampeding in terror, a phoenix dancing, a startled snake slithering away in fright. The Chinese written language began to develop more than 3,000 years ago and eventually evolved into 5 basic script types, all of which are still in use today. The earliest writing took the form of pictograms and ideographs that were inscribed onto the surfaces of jade and oracle bones or cast into the surface of ritual bronze vessels. Then, as the written language began to take standardized form, it evolved into seal script, so named because it remained the script type used on personal seals. By the later Han Dynasty, 2nd century AD, a new regularized form of script known as laishu, or clerical script, used by government clerks appeared. It was also in the Han that the flexible hairbrush came into use, its supple tip producing effects such as the final wave-like diagonal stroke of some characters that were not attainable in inscribed characters. Increasingly cursive forms of writing known as running script, jingshu, and cursive script, kaoshu, also developed around this time, both as a natural evolution and a response to the aesthetic potential of brush and ink. In these scripts, individual characters are written in abbreviated form. At their most cursive, two or more characters may be linked together, written in a single flourish of the brush. As the individual brushstrokes of clerical script were inflected with more fluid and asymmetrical features of cursive script, a final script type known as standard script, kaishu, evolved. In this elegant form of writing, each brushstroke is clearly articulated through a complex series of brush movements. These kinesthetic brushstrokes are then integrated into a dynamically balanced, self-contained whole. Over the centuries, calligraphers were free to write in any of the 5 script styles, depending on the text function. Beginning by emulating the styles of earlier masters, later writers sought to transform their models to achieve their own personal style. The calligraphic tradition remains alive today in the work of many contemporary Chinese artists.